Wednesday, 26th of March, 2025. Today's EON is brought to you by people like me, who I'm guilty of this. When you argue, make your point, and you could scream whatever, and then after a couple of seconds, made your points. That's it. 10 minutes. If you want to keep going, I say don't. And you say you want to stop. That's your opinion. It's my opinion. Let's move on from it. Because I get into these arguments all the time and we just like continue it forever. And the truth is, we made our points and that's it. And that's the thing. I mean, I had this the other day with somebody. He just wanted to keep going. And at certain points, I'm like, I told the person, whatever, we have our opinions. That's it. We moved on. And he says, there's no basis, no basis. And I said, whatever you just said, there was an opinion too. Okay? And I'll tell you what the argument was. The argument was about healthcare, and I kept saying that in healthcare, no country has really fixed that issue ever. Everything else, free market. More people would say that America has been the forefront of the civilization of free market, and every good country tries to copy America to some point of that. But when it comes to the healthcare, nobody's good. Everyone says they're good, their country's good. Well, the truth is no one's good, and the truth is that like there's a problem, there's major problems because you're playing with people's lives. Okay, whether it's too expensive, number one, and the other side, whether you can't get to the doctor. And there are stories about it in every country, and I'm not going to go through it because I'm not here to argue with people. But that's just was my opinion. He kept going, I do this, I'll do that, and I'll do that, and da da da. And I said one thing. I said, last but not least, I said, here's the thing. If you want your best people in your country and you want the best professions, you have to have, they have to get paid a lot. And he kept interrupting me. First of all, I'm guilty of this too, interrupting people and whatever. I try to give people the floor and like, okay, I'll try to time it to respond. Now, here's another thing. People always blame me for screaming, try to get my point across. And the reason why I do it is because of two things. I try to do the first thing is I can't hear you if I'm in a room full of 100 people. That's number one. That's the number one thing is like, I got to make sure you hear me. So if someone says, yo, you're speaking too low, I don't want to be that dude that says you're speaking too low. Okay, I'd rather speak too loud and you hear me rather than doing that. Number two, the problem is that I'm middle of talking. I'm just letting you know I'm middle of talking. It is a sign to say I'm middle of talking, so don't interrupt me because I am talking. Now, everyone says you're too loud. Yeah, that's fine. I am too loud. There should be moderation in life, and I understand that. And I gotta fix that. I gotta work on that. But the reason why I speak like that sometimes because I want you to hear me. Number two. Number one is like, yo, you're not gonna hear me. There's 100 people talking, so you gotta hear me. And the reason why, like, and also like people play like I remember one time I'm on a phone call with somebody and I'm speaking so loud for about 20 minutes, and my mother's like, "Why are you so loud?" Because that guy, I can't hear him. Cause he in his background, he's on speaker. He's playing the TV on all the way up, and I'm like, yo, if I can't hear him, I'm gonna have to speak loud so he can hear me because he's next to the noise right in front of me. So it's like, oh, should I hang up and tell him? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you might be right about that. But that's the point where I'm coming to. It's like people are like, you're too loud when you talk. And I might be too loud in this video. I might be. But the reason why is I don't got a mic, and that's on me. And I'm trying to be as close to the computer as possible so you guys can hear the audio. And don't complain that you don't hear the audio. And you guys can control the volume of the audio on your computer or your device, whatever, your phone, whatever device you are watching this on. That's my point about screaming. And it's sad. I should not, and I should be able to time like and to scream or not. And I get it. And one of those other things is like I'm too passionate. And that I can't. I have no defense to. Sometimes, and people like it. Some people laugh at it, and people are like they're not gonna listen. I do make points when I try to argue about sarcasm. It's not a sarcastic thing. It's an expression thing. The expression is because this is what we do. This is how it works to make a point. You try to remember that. See, if somebody says, well, this and that and that and that, it's like nobody gives a darn. Let's be honest. Everybody moves on from that. But if somebody makes a sound effect and I tell a story like when I'm talking about like an argument with somebody on geopolitics back in the day, not even back in the day, actually like 8, 9 months ago or something like that, where I said I made a thing of like America did this and the other country did that, and I said about America, America showed that we drink beer and eat hot dogs. Everybody's going to remember that. Not everyone's going to remember that, but people are going to remember that bookmark. It's like a bookmark over like a, whatever, a bookmark, a thumbnail. People are going to remember that over the person that just made his point, and bye bye. That's it. Like, no one cares. No one cares about that point. The point is like America is the country. The point is America's the country that we go on a Friday nights and we go to a baseball game and eat hot dogs and order a beer. That's America. That's what it is. And you can say, well, my country. I know somebody from another country can be like, well, my country, we do that too. And you get the point. America's known is known for that baseball game. Oh, but the Dominican Republic has great baseball games. Shout out to my Dominicans over there. I understand it, but you get the point. America's more known for that, to go to a baseball game and get a beer and a hot dog. People, people are like, it's a thing. I remember as a kid, it's like you cannot go to a baseball game and not eat a hot dog. It's like you just get offended. I remember as a kid, I would like get offended though of that, and like you get older, you're like, no, I get what they're saying. It's tradition, but the two things is like the sarcastic sound effect. I'm always going to do. I'm always going to make that sarcastic statement. I'm always going to talk about, you know what happened there? Okay, like, or Michael Jordan, like he shot the ball and he swish. It's like, yes, you try to do that so people know you and people try make a mark. You make a mark on them. Yes, it is selfishly I do that. And you say, well, it's kids. It's not a kids thing. It's actually true. Um, so that's my point. And the loud things got to stop. Um, as far as but that's the thing. Like, make your points in life, whatever your point is, whatever my other point is. We could agree to disagree. It will never be perfect. One side could be right on another thing. And welcome to life. When life, whatever argument it is, to get something, you gotta give something, and vice versa. So to give, you're gonna get something eventually, whether it's from God or someone else. Obviously, don't give away 100% of your money and expect it to fall on top of you. But whatever it is, it's like there's good and bad in like any system, and the question is, what's more good, what's more bad? Does it have more good or more bad? And that's where you have to weigh the options. The same thing about the world of today versus the world back then. And talking about that, with the world of today and the world back then, is like, oh, you want it in like basketball, let's say, and you go, oh, well, it's dangerous when a player drives to the hoop and you can't foul him in the air. Well, that's what happens. There's less fights. What happens when they call it technical to everything? It's less drama than it ever was in basketball. Yes, there's still some trash talking, but it's a joke compared to the 80s and 90s. The Detroit Pistons, the villain team. I don't even know in like sports, it's not as much as it once was. The villain team doesn't exist to that level like anymore. It doesn't. Uh, tell me, like I want to hear who's the villain team in like the whole sports, and goes, this team. No, not really. Like everyone kind of likes them. I don't think there's a Detroit Pistons team really that I can remember, and the Miami Heat team that was about a couple of years with LeBron. I don't think in basketball there has been a real villain team. They say the KD Warriors. I mean, like, stop. Like, I'm talking about like drama between rivalries too, as far as like trash talking. It's in and out now. It's like physical stuff is not the way it once was, and that's because of the give and take. There's more dunks now. There's more this. There's more 3 pointers. So that's the thing. Like you have to understand, like in life, to give and take with systems and arguments. So thank you very much. Subscribe to me on YouTube at RE326. Follow me on Rumble at REF26, and also REAFA 326 on X.